It's difficult to even begin to express what I've done because every time I reflect on it, I feel an overwhelming sense of self-disgust. I'm fully aware of how it must appear. While he was fighting cancer, I was living a double life, meeting men from bars and dating apps, pretending to be single, even using a different name. There's no justification for it. I wasn't someone who made a one-time mistake. I cheated multiple times with several men, at the absolute worst time. I betrayed him when he was most vulnerable, when he needed me as his partner and protector. When the breaking point came about 6 weeks ago, he had just completed his final round of chemotherapy. He was exhausted, carrying so much, and I threw a bomb into his life. I only told him half-truths, making him dig to get the full story from me. Just that part alone fills me with shame, watching him cry, rage, and break down while I fed him lies. I know he was ready to leave, but the only reason he stayed was because of the kids and our financial situation. That's a fact I'll carry with me forever. What I can't wrap my head around is that I did love him. I fought for him, stood by him through his illness and treatments, but at some point, I broke. The therapist calls it narcissistic defenses, unresolved trauma, and the need for validation. And that's exactly what it was. I sought out shallow validation through one-night stands because I couldn't face myself. I compartmentalized, convincing myself that it didn't affect my real life or marriage. I disconnected from the consequences. I became someone I never thought I would be, the woman who betrays her seriously ill husband. Since that breaking point, I've crumbled in ways I didn't think were possible. I've had to face how disgusting my actions were. I've worked to take responsibility, without sweeping anything under the rug, without blaming him, without minimizing anything. I've made financial and legal changes to provide him with security. I've tried to be patient during his emotional breakdowns, to answer his questions, to take therapy seriously. I want to be the partner he truly deserves, and I know I'm not that person right now. But here's where I keep failing him emotionally. I understand what I did. I can list every way it destroyed him, but I can't feel it the way he does. My mind just shuts down. I've been avoiding emotions since childhood, and now I don't know how to handle them. When he's in pain, whether physical or emotional, I can hold space for a little while. But then I get distracted. YouTube, sports, anything. Not because I don't care, but because my mind overloads. I've explained this to him, and I know it sounds like an excuse, but I truly want to feel. I just don't know how. Our therapist says this is a long-term nervous system adaptation, something that might take years to undo, if it ever fully changes. I see the exhaustion in his eyes, and I hate myself for causing it. He doesn't feel safe with me, and honestly, I don't feel safe with myself. I want to believe I can become the woman he and our kids deserve, but I see his anxiety, his vigilance, his constant paranoia because of me, and I don't know if my efforts will ever be enough. I shattered the foundation of his world. Even when he says that if it weren't for the kids, he would have left, I know he means it. I ruined something irreplaceable. All I can do now is try not to destroy what's left, but I fear it might already be too late. Update. I'm not even sure how to begin this. When I first joined this community, I was filled with hope. I thought I could fix the damage I caused, that I could use the techniques here to better myself and undo the harm. But he's gone. He moved to his parents' house, and last week, I received the divorce papers. The kids, an 18-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy, are with him. They're so disgusted by me that they've said they want nothing to do with me. His mom is taking care of him because he's still weak from his cancer treatment. The pain of it is indescribable, but I know I caused it. What struck me today is how much my entire reality has shifted. I used to be someone who was certain my husband would never cheat on me. That trust was so ingrained, it was like air. Now, I'm someone who knows I cheated, and everything in my life looks different through that lens. The world seems dimmer, less hopeful. Home used to be a source of comfort, but now this house feels like an empty shell. I sometimes imagine what it must feel like for him to be somewhere safe again, surrounded by people who support him. And I can't blame him for running there, especially considering how weak he is, with his disease eating away at him. When he was at work, I used to wonder if he thought about me. Now all I can think about is how I betrayed him while he thought everything was fine. If he didn't answer the phone right away, I assumed he was busy. Now he probably assumes if I don't answer, I'm lying or with someone else. That's the life I built. Suspicion, doubt, paranoia. I never wanted this. I didn't want to be the mother whose kids refused to see her. I didn't want to be the wife who destroyed her marriage, who left her sick husband so broken that he had no choice but to walk away. And yet, that's exactly who I've become. What kind of monster am I? Edit. His cancer isn't at a life-threatening stage. No, I didn't cheat on my husband on his deathbed. He was diagnosed early, and the chemotherapy is just precautionary, though it's still tough on him. Comments. It feels unbearable, like you've lost everything, not just your marriage but your sense of self. What helped me was realizing that, of course, they're angry now. You broke their foundation, but feelings shift with time. Don't assume this is permanent. And don't torment yourself by replaying the thoughts of him being at work and wondering if he's with someone else. I spiraled with that for months, and it only fed my shame. He may not want to be with you anymore, but that doesn't erase everything you shared or mean you're unlovable. I thought my life was over when my marriage ended. I told myself the same things you're telling yourself now. I'm pathetic. I've destroyed everything. My kids will never forgive me. But over time, I realized some of that thinking was just me punishing myself. Yes, we made terrible choices, but we're still human. Try to separate yourself from your actions. You did awful things, but that doesn't mean you are nothing. Your husband is doing what he has to do right now, and your kids are following his lead. That doesn't mean there's no path back to at least some relationship. Be gentle with yourself. If you keep piling shame on shame, you'll collapse under it, instead of doing the slow work of changing. Story 2. I'm in my late 30s, my husband is almost 40, and we have 2 kids, ages 12 and 9. Earlier this year, I was transferred to another city for a new job, while he stayed behind until he found work. While I was here alone, I started spending time with one of my colleagues. He's 23, male, single, fit, and knows exactly how to please a woman. He's gone down on me more times than I can count. I've given him oral sex in my car after work. We've had sex in my bed, in his bed, and in the shower. Sometimes, I let him stay over when the kids were at their grandparents'. It was incredible. It wasn't just about sex. He offered me emotional connection, something my husband had been lacking. We hung out like we were dating, movies, dinner, cuddling after. I even called him my boyfriend, and we joked about vows. Fast forward, my husband finally moves here, and of course everything spirals. He notices things don't add up. He finds out about the dinners and that my AP had been in our place. He confronts me, presses me, and asks repeatedly if it was physical. I swear up and down that it wasn't. Just a friendship, just poor boundaries. He wants to believe me so badly it's almost sad. He does all the childcare now, works his demanding job, and still tries to play detective in his free time. Meanwhile, I've got a younger guy a few blocks away who knows exactly what I like. And my husband keeps tying himself in knots, trying to figure out the truth. He's pressing hard, but he has no real proof beyond what I've already admitted. Why would I give him more? I've got stability, kids taken care of, a husband desperate to keep the family intact, and a hot AP who gives me everything I've been missing. This is the sweetest deal I could imagine, and I'm living my best life. Anyone else here balancing a worried spouse while keeping the fun going? Tips on keeping him off my trail long term?